Well, Pakistani jets are bombing Afghan soil. Taliban fighters are storming Pakistani outposts. And this is all happening along a border carved out 132 years ago. Let's picture this. It's 1893 and British diplomat Mortimer Durand sits across from Afghan Amir Abdur Rahman Khan, drawing a line on a map that would forever divide families, tribes and nations. Well, the Durand Line wasn't just ink on paper. It was a colonial dagger cutting through the heart of Pashtun and Baloch territories, creating a wound that bleeds to this very day. In this edition of From the News Desk, we will tell you everything you need to know about the Durand Line, from how it was formed to understanding the current conflict between Pakistan and Afghanistan. The Durand Line is 2,640 kilometers international border between Afghanistan and Pakistan, established in 1893. It was created through an agreement between Mortimer Durand, a British diplomat representing British India, and Amir Abdur Rahman Khan, the ruler of Afghanistan at that very point. The border was meant to define the respective spheres of influence of British India and Afghanistan, aiming to improve diplomatic relations and trade while serving as a buffer zone during the colonial Great Game rivalry with Russia. Geographically, the Durand Line stretches from the mountainous northern bordering China to the desert region bordering Iran in the west. Now, talking about the current crisis, October 2025 represents the latest explosion of this ancient grievance. Pakistani airstrikes inside Afghanistan triggered massive Taliban retaliation. In fact, multiple reports suggest that Taliban forces have seized multiple Pakistani border posts, inflicting heavy casualties and demonstrating that Afghanistan's new regime won't be intimidated. What makes this crisis particularly dangerous is the human cost. This very border frontier cuts through the villages where families have relatives on both sides. Pakistan's attempt to fence the border since 2017 have only deepened Afghan resentment, viewed as the permanent entrenchment of colonial division. Here's what the world needs to understand. This isn't just another border skirmish. This is the inevitable consequence of colonial arrogance meeting modern geopolitical realities. When the British carved up South Asia, they split the Pashtun heartland down the middle, creating an artificial frontier that would haunt both nations for generations to come. Now, it is very important to understand what both sides claim on this very line. Afghanistan's position is crystal clear. The Durand Line is illegitimate, imposed under force by colonial powers. No Afghan government, whether monarchy, communist regime or Taliban, has ever accepted it. For them, millions of ethnic Pashtuns and Baloch living in what is now Pakistan belong to Afghanistan's rightful territory. Meanwhile, Pakistan's nightmare is existential. Accepting Afghan claims would mean surrendering vast territories, including access to the very important Arabian Sea. So they have spent decades trying to control Afghanistan through proxies. First Mujahideen, then the Taliban. But that strategy has always backfired. The Taliban that Pakistan once nurtured now refuses to bow to Islamabad's demand. And even worse, the Tehreek-e-Taliban Pakistan, inspired by their Afghan counterparts, is waging a war inside Pakistan itself. Well, looking at this situation, it won't be wrong to say that the master has lost control of the puppet. The international community has called for restraint. But one thing is clear, that band-aid diplomacy won't heal a colonial wound. This isn't just about Afghanistan and Pakistan. This is about the lingering poison of colonialism, the impossibility of governing divided people, and the tragic reality that some wounds left untreated for over a century eventually turn gangrenous. The Durand Line isn't just a border. It's a scar across the soul of South Asia, and it's bleeding again.